In the quaint town nestled among dense forests, an eerie event unfolded, sending shivers down the spines of its residents. A young boy, known for his bright smile and adventurous spirit, vanished without a trace, leaving the town in a state of shock and confusion. Whispers spread like wildfire, carried on the wind, as the townspeople exchanged fearful glances. They spoke of an ancient malevolence that lurked in the depths of the forest, an unseen force that preyed on the unsuspecting and swallowed them whole. Superstitions and legends resurfaced, painting a picture of a sinister entity that had long been rumored to haunt the woods. As night fell, the once serene town took on an aura of unease. Strange noises echoed through the darkness, sending chills down the spines of those who dared to venture outside. Shadows seemed to dance in the corners of their vision, and the rustling of leaves carried an ominous tone. With each passing night, the unease grew, as did the town's collective fear. Windows were shuttered tightly, and doors were locked with an extra bolt. The forest, once a place of beauty and tranquility, now became an enigmatic realm, shrouded in darkness and filled with lurking dangers. The townspeople gathered in hushed clusters, discussing the mysterious disappearance and sharing accounts of unusual occurrences they had experienced. Some claimed to have heard mournful cries in the night, while others spoke of eerie figures that vanished into the shadows. The boy's family was left devastated, their home now filled with an eerie silence that echoed their grief. They held on to hope, praying for his safe return, but the whispers of malevolence in the forest gnawed at their hearts, filling them with dread. Among the townsfolk was a young woman named Katie, known for her courage and inquisitive nature. She couldn't shake the feeling that there was more to this disappearance than met the eye. The forest called to her, beckoning her with an inexplicable curiosity, despite the warning of others. Katie spent nights gazing at the dense woods from her window, feeling an unexplainable pull toward the enigmatic darkness. The whispers of the forest seemed to echo in her mind, urging her to unravel the mysteries hidden within. Unable to resist the urge any longer, Katie made a daring decision. She would venture into the heart of the forest, determined to find the missing boy and uncover the truth behind the strange occurrences that plagued her town. Arming herself with a flashlight and a resolve that burned brighter than her fear, Katie set out on her perilous journey. The woods welcomed her with an eerie silence, the canopy of trees above casting strange shadows on her path. With each step, the forest seemed to watch her every move, as if aware of her presence. She felt a tingling at the back of her neck, a sensation of being both watched and pursued. The rustling of leaves behind her and the faint sounds of distant footsteps heightened her unease. Yet, Katie pressed on, her determination unwavering. The forest held its secrets close, but she was determined to pry them open. What lay beyond the trees? What force had stolen the young boy from his home and left a town in terror? As she ventured further into the heart of the woods, Katie felt an inexplicable chill in the air. The trees seemed to close in around her, their branches reaching out like skeletal fingers. Each step was a test of her will, and the forest seemed to dare her to turn back. But the young woman would not relent. She knew that the truth lay hidden in the shadows, and she was determined to uncover it. Her journey had only just begun, and the forest held many secrets, both terrifying and enthralling. As the night wore on, the moon cast an eerie glow on the forest floor, and Katie felt a sense of foreboding. The darkness seemed to shift and dance around her, as if the forest itself were alive, concealing its malevolent secrets. And so, with every step, Katie delved deeper into the enigmatic heart of the forest, drawn by the mystery of the young boy's disappearance and the malevolent force that seemed to lurk within its depths. Little did she know that her curiosity would lead her on a treacherous path of horror and despair, where the forest's darkest secrets awaited her. Katie couldn't shake the feeling that something in the forest was beckoning to her. It was as if an invisible hand tugged at her very soul, compelling her to delve deeper into the unknown. Despite the fear and warnings echoing in her mind, she couldn't resist the inexplicable allure of the forest's heart. Night after night, the call grew stronger, its haunting melody seeping into her dreams. Images of the missing boy haunted her sleep, urging her to find him and bring him back to his grieving family. Katie knew she had to follow this inexplicable force, to confront the malevolent presence that lurked in the shadows. With each passing day, Katie's determination to solve the mystery intensified. She spent hours poring over old books and local legends, seeking any information that could shed light on the forest's dark secrets. The townspeople, still gripped by fear, were reluctant to talk, but Katie's resolve remained unyielding. Finally, she stumbled upon an old diary written by a hermit who had lived near the forest many years ago. The hermit spoke of the forest's secrets, warning of an ancient evil that preyed on unsuspecting souls. He mentioned a cursed artifact hidden deep within the woods, said to hold the power to control minds and lure the unwary into its clutches. Armed with this newfound knowledge, Katie felt a mixture of excitement and trepidation. She knew she had to confront this malevolent force if she ever hoped to find the missing boy and put an end to the town's suffering. Gathering her courage, she embarked on a solitary journey into the heart of the forest, guided by an inexplicable sense of direction. As she ventured deeper, the forest seemed to come alive with an eerie glow. Shadows danced along the trees, their silhouettes shifting and twisting in unnatural ways. The air was thick with an otherworldly energy, and Katie's heart pounded in her chest as she pressed on. Each step she took brought her closer to the heart of the forest, where an ancient tree stood tall and majestic. It was said that this tree was the key to unlocking the forest's mysteries, but its true power remained shrouded in darkness. Katie approached the tree with caution, feeling a strange pull from within its gnarled roots. As she reached out to touch the tree, a surge of energy coursed through her body. Visions flashed before her eyes, images of the missing boy, the hermit from the diary, and other townspeople who had vanished without a trace. The forest seemed to be alive with the memories of those it had consumed. Suddenly, Katie heard a voice, a haunting whisper carried on the wind. It spoke of sorrow and despair, of a timeless hunger that could only be appeased with more souls. The malevolent force that had plagued the town was revealed to be a malevolent spirit, trapped in the cursed artifact hidden within the ancient tree. Realizing the extent of the danger she was in, Katie understood that she must act swiftly. With newfound determination, she reached into her bag and retrieved a small vial containing a mysterious liquid she had obtained from a local wise woman. The liquid was said to possess the power to dispel dark spirits. Summoning all her courage, Katie poured the liquid onto the tree's roots, chanting an incantation she had learned from the wise woman. A brilliant light enveloped the ancient tree, and a fierce wind whipped through the forest, carrying away the malevolent presence. The forest seemed to sigh with relief, and the unnatural glow faded, returning the woods to its natural state. The curse had been broken, and the malevolent spirit released from its eternal torment. As the forest calmed, Katie knew that her mission had been successful. With a heavy heart, she returned to the town, prepared to share her findings with the villagers. She knew that the evil had been vanquished, but the scars it left behind would take time to heal. As Katie recounted her harrowing journey and the truth she had uncovered, the townspeople listened with a mix of awe and gratitude. The disappearance of the young boy would forever be etched in the town's history. But thanks to Katie's bravery, the forest would no longer be shrouded in darkness and fear. The call of the forest depths had been silenced, and the town could begin to rebuild and find solace in knowing that the evil that once lurked among them had been defeated. Little did Katie know that her actions had caught the attention of other forces, both benevolent and malevolent, and her journey was far from over. The forest held many secrets, and as she returned home that night, she couldn't help but wonder what other mysteries awaited her in the dark embrace of the ancient woods. As Katie ventured deeper into the heart of the forest, an unsettling sensation washed over her. The air seemed to thicken, suffused with an eerie chill that sent shivers down her spine. The trees loomed overhead, their branches intertwining like skeletal fingers, and the once familiar path now seemed alien and foreboding. With each step she took, the forest grew darker, as if the shadows themselves were closing in around her. The feeble beam of her flashlight struggled to pierce the gloom, and she felt as though the very darkness was alive, watching her every move. Katie's heart pounded in her chest, and she could hear her own breath echoing in the silence. It was as if the forest held its breath, waiting for her to make a misstep. Her mind raced with thoughts of turning back, seeking the safety of the town and leaving the mysteries of the forest behind. But something within her refused to relent. She had come this far, and she was determined to see her journey through. As night descended upon the forest, the shadows deepened, and the ancient trees seemed to whisper to each other in hushed tones. Katie's instincts told her that she was not alone, that there were eyes upon her from all directions. But whenever she turned to catch a glimpse of the observer, there was nothing, just the enveloping darkness. Fear gnawed at her, threatening to overwhelm her resolve. She questioned her decision to venture into this malevolent place, wondering if she had unwittingly unleashed an even greater evil. The weight of the forest's secrets bore down on her, and she couldn't help but feel like an intruder in this realm of darkness and ancient malevolence. With every rustle of leaves and snap of twigs, Katie's imagination conjured grotesque visions of creatures lurking just beyond her sight. The forest seemed to feed off her terror, amplifying every sound and distorting every shadow. Each step she took felt heavier, and the urge to flee grew stronger with every passing moment. But amidst her fear, a flicker of determination remained. She couldn't let the forest break her spirit, nor could she allow the evil within to claim more innocent lives. Clutching her flashlight tightly, she continued forward, guided only by an unyielding will to confront the darkness. As the night wore on, Katie stumbled upon an old, dilapidated cabin nestled deep within the trees. The structure seemed to sag under the weight of time, its walls adorned with cobwebs and dust. Despite her unease, she knew she had to investigate. Pushing open the creaking door, Katie's flashlight beam revealed the interior, and her heart skipped a beat. The cabin was filled with strange symbols and markings etched into the walls and floor. An overwhelming sense of malevolence hung in the air, and she knew she had stumbled upon something sinister. The cabin's unsettling atmosphere seemed to intensify with every passing moment. It was as if the walls were closing in on her, suffocating her with dread. She felt a compulsion to leave, to flee this cursed place, but an inexplicable force kept her rooted to the spot. Suddenly, the cabin's silence was shattered by an unearthly wail that seemed to emanate from all around her. The walls trembled, and the symbols on the floor glowed with an otherworldly light. Katie's heart raced, and she knew she had to escape. With every ounce of strength she could muster, she turned and ran from the cabin, her breaths coming in ragged gasps. As she emerged back into the forest, the air felt fresher, but the fear remained. The forest had revealed a glimpse of its true nature, and she couldn't help but feel that she had unleashed an ancient malevolence that would not be easily quelled. Katie's encounter with the cabin and the unearthly wail would forever haunt her dreams. The forest had revealed its darker side, and she knew that she was now facing an even greater danger than she had ever imagined. Her resolve to uncover the truth was stronger than ever, but so was her fear. The forest was no longer just a backdrop for a mysterious disappearance. It was a living, breathing entity, and it was watching her every move. As Katie continued her perilous journey through the heart of the forest, she noticed peculiar signs etched into the ground. The markings seemed deliberate, leading her deeper into the darkness. They were like a cryptic map, guiding her along a path that no one had ventured before. The forest appeared to be revealing its secrets through these enigmatic traces. With a mix of trepidation and curiosity, Katie followed the trail, determined to uncover the truth behind the mysterious disappearances. Along the way, she encountered remnants of previous explorers who had sought to unravel the forest's secrets. Abandoned journals, torn pages, and personal belongings lay scattered, serving as grim reminders of those who had ventured into the depths but never returned. Each discovery fueled Katie's resolve to press on. She found the stories of the lost souls hauntingly similar. The same sense of being watched, the same dread-inducing darkness, and the same feeling of being irresistibly drawn to the forest's core. It was as if the forest had ensnared them in its malevolent embrace, leaving no trace of their existence. As the trail of enigmatic traces led her deeper, Katie encountered a group of locals who had gathered in a clearing. They were armed with weapons, their faces etched with determination and fear. These were the friends and family of those who had vanished, seeking answers and vowing to put an end to the forest's curse. In hushed tones, they exchanged their experiences, describing eerie encounters and inexplicable phenomena. One by one, they shared tales of how the forest had played tricks on their minds. Whispers in the wind, ghostly apparitions, and unexplained noises that left them paralyzed with fear. They, too, had followed the strange markings, only to find themselves disoriented and lost in the darkness. Despite the fear that gripped the group, Katie sensed a glimmer of hope. Together, they would pool their knowledge and strength, increasing their chances of survival and success. They knew they couldn't face the malevolent force alone, but united, they might stand a chance against the ancient evil that lurked within the woods. As they continued onward, the forest seemed to react to their presence. The air grew heavier, and the whispers grew louder, as if the forest itself was warning them to turn back. But they pressed on, fueled by the desire to bring the missing souls home and lift the curse that had plagued their town for generations. The trail of enigmatic traces led them to an ancient stone circle hidden deep within the forest. The stones loomed tall, encircling a central point where an ominous energy pulsed. Katie sensed that this was the heart of the forest's malevolence, the source of the cursed artifact that had ensnared so many. As the group cautiously approached, the ground beneath their feet trembled, and a haunting silence enveloped them. The air crackled with an electric energy, and a swirling mist began to form around the stones. It was as if the forest itself was preparing for a battle of wills between the living and the ancient malevolence. With a collective breath, they stepped into the stone circle, each member of the group holding their breath in anticipation. The energy within the circle seemed to intensify, but the group stood resolute, determined to confront the malevolent force head-on. In a moment of clarity, Katie realized that their combined determination and courage were the key to breaking the curse. As they linked hands, a surge of power flowed through them, and they chanted the same incantation she had used in the cabin. The ancient forest seemed to respond, its grip loosening, and the malevolent presence weakened. With a final burst of energy, the group shattered the cursed artifact at the heart of the stone circle. The forest trembled, and a deafening roar echoed through the trees as the malevolent force dissipated into the ether. The curse had been broken, and the forest was free from its ancient shackles. As the mist cleared and the stone circle became bathed in the soft moonlight, the group exchanged triumphant glances. They had accomplished what seemed impossible, unraveling the forest's enigmatic traces, confronting the ancient malevolence, and banishing the curse that had plagued their town. With the curse broken, the missing souls were freed from their torment, and the forest began to heal. The air felt lighter, and the shadows no longer seemed menacing. The group returned to the town as heroes, their bravery and unity celebrated by the grateful townspeople. Katie had overcome her deepest fears and had played a crucial role in saving her town. She knew that the forest would always hold its mysteries, but it was no longer a place of terror. Instead, it became a symbol of courage, resilience, and the triumph of good over evil. As the sun set on the horizon, casting its warm glow over the town, Katie couldn't help but feel a sense of peace. The malevolent force that had haunted the forest for centuries had been vanquished, and she had played a part in setting the souls of the lost free. But little did she know that the forest's mysteries were far from over, and her journey was far from complete. The ancient woods still held secrets that would test her resolve and courage once more. And so, with a mixture of trepidation and excitement, Katie knew that her adventure had only just begun. Katie's heart raced as she found herself ensnared within a labyrinth of ancient trees. The forest seemed to come alive around her, the trees shifting and morphing like living beings, their branches reaching out like gnarled fingers to trap her in their grasp. Panic gripped her as she realized that the forest was not done with her yet. The path she had taken led her deeper into the heart of the forest, far from the safety of the town. Every turn she made seemed to lead her in circles, disorienting her and eroding her sense of direction. The malevolent presence she thought she had banished now seemed to mock her, toying with her and leading her astray. With each step, the forest became more oppressive, the trees closing in around her. Katie's flashlight flickered, casting eerie shadows that danced along the twisted trunks. She fought to keep her fear at bay, to remain focused on finding a way out of this living nightmare. But just as she thought she saw a glimmer of hope, a haunting whisper filled the air. The voices of the lost souls echoed through the woods, their mournful cries sending chills down her spine. The ancient trees seemed to absorb their anguish, feeding off their pain and sorrow. Katie knew that she couldn't let the forest break her spirit. She had to find a way out, to return to the town and warn the others of the incredible danger that lay hidden in the heart of the woods. Gathering her courage, she pressed on, determined to escape the living prison that surrounded her. As she wandered deeper into the forest, Katie stumbled upon a clearing. The ground was littered with the remnants of the lost souls, tattered clothing, personal belongings, and the faint glimmer of fading hope. It was then that she understood the true nature of the malevolent force that had plagued the town. A sudden realization washed over her. The ancient trees were more than just malevolent beings. They were conduits for an insatiable hunger for souls. The forest had thrived for centuries by preying on the emotions of the townspeople: fear, despair, and grief. It had drawn them in, ensnared them in its web, and consumed their very essence. Katie knew that she was now facing the malevolent entity itself, the heart of the forest's evil. It hungered for her soul, eager to add her to the countless others it had devoured. But she would not succumb. She had to find a way to break free from the living prison and return to the town, to warn the others before it was too late. Summoning every ounce of strength and willpower, Katie devised a plan. She began marking her path with stones and tying strips of cloth to the trees, determined not to lose her way again. With her makeshift trail, she hoped to find her way back to the town and warn them of the impending danger. As she retraced her steps, the forest seemed to grow agitated. The ancient trees shuddered and groaned, their branches quivering in fury. The malevolent presence surged, seeking to keep her trapped within its grasp. But Katie refused to back down. She pushed through the fear, ignoring the haunting whispers that tried to lure her deeper into the forest. She clung to the hope that she could make it back to the town and save her friends and family from the malevolent force that hungered for their souls. Finally, after what felt like an eternity, Katie broke free from the ancient tree's clutches and emerged back into the familiar outskirts of the forest. The town lay before her, a beacon of safety and comfort. Gasping for breath, she rushed back to the town, her mind racing with the urgency of her warning. She found the group of townspeople who had ventured into the forest earlier, telling them of the true nature of the malevolent entity that had preyed on their emotions and devoured their souls. Together, they devised a plan to protect the town from the ancient evil. Armed with their newfound knowledge, they performed a ritual to ward off the malevolent force, sealing the forest from further incursions and protecting their loved ones from its sinister grasp. As the ritual took effect, a deep sense of relief washed over the town. The malevolent entity was trapped within the forest, unable to harm them any longer. The forest would forever remain a place of caution and mystery, but the townspeople would be vigilant, never again falling prey to its malevolence. Katie had faced her deepest fears, battled an ancient evil, and emerged victorious. She knew that her journey had changed her forever, but she also knew that she had saved her town from an incredible danger. The forest would always be a place of wonder and terror, but now, the town held the knowledge and power to protect itself. As the townspeople celebrated their newfound freedom, Katie felt a sense of pride and accomplishment. She had confronted the darkness within the forest and emerged stronger for it. Her adventure had come to an end, but she knew that the forest's mysteries would continue to beckon, and she would forever be haunted by the enigmatic depths of the ancient woods.